Hello everyone, today we are running a deck that has had some of the highest variance that I think has ever been featured in one of my videos, and I think a lot of that is contributed to the current state of our meta. The meta is shifting and so many decks are viable right now that something that is doing well right now may not do well 2 or 3 hours from now, and then vice versa. And so I think the only thing that stays pretty consistent is, unfortunately, Arishem. Otherwise, it really fluctuates back and forth depending on what you're seeing a lot of. But what I like about today's deck is that it allows us to have a lot of counter components. So we have the Quinjet, the Cable, the Agent Coulson, and the Loki to be able to generate additional cards, have some cheap resources to utilize so that we can outvalue and outpower our opponent. We have the Juggernaut, which is always a fantastic last turn play. If the opponent is playing something that is lower paced, Juggernaut can absolutely steal you those games. And then we have a couple of our counter components in the Shadow King, the Rogue, the Shang-Chi, and you're seeing it right, the Enchantress. So right now we're in a kind of a flux of the meta where there's a lot of viable ongoing cards and very few counter cards to stop them. So like the Hawk decks, any kind of destroy that runs Null. We have the Zoo deck that runs Blue Marvel that you can steal away and be able to have that high tempo value back in your direction. And then the rest of the deck is looking at those flexible value tools. So we have Copycat, Nocturne, Vision. If you don't have Nocturne or Vision, you can replace it with another good, solid value 3-cost card. Sage is always fantastic. If you don't have Nocturne, Jeff would probably do as well. That way you have a little bit of flexibility in if you get capped out or if you need to move or maneuver a card or some power around, you have that flexibility. But instead of Copycat, you could go with Cassandra Nova, you could go with Sage. There's a lot of viable replacements. But as far as this deck goes, I had went on tears of 9-1, 10-1, and also on tears of 0-5, 0-6. And so definitely play this a bit patient, because if it doesn't line up just right, or if the opponent is running decks that you just don't quite match into very well, play it patiently, retreat out of those for low cube losses, and then rinse and repeat. Overall, I was able to maintain close to a 60% win rate, but that is with some incredibly high variance and some incredibly high cube stakes. And so if you can master this deck, I think you will be poised to gain a lot of cubes or a lot of SP if you're post-infinite. And overall, it is really fun being able to counter the opponent and be able to try to outthink what the opponent is wanting to do so that you can position your cards, your counter cards, more effectively than what they can play. And so we're going to go ahead and jump over into a couple of games. Thank you guys, as always, for being here. I hope you guys enjoy. Next up, we have Stokes, and we are stoked to be matching up against them because our Copycat steals their Shang-Chi right off the jump, which is great. The X23 tells me this is probably a full-on destroy deck, and we're going to be able to have Cable, have the Loki to try to steal their, I don't know, their Null, their Death. We have a lot of good things going for us, and the sleek Cable, which I just split into this gold, and it looks fantastic. The Mysterio, interesting. Not what I was thinking with the X23. We do get their Venom, which is fantastic. The Agent Coulson we could play. We could go ahead and play the Loki just to try to figure out what they're running. It could be the Galactus Destroyer shenanigans. Let's go ahead and play Loki over to the right. I think we'll be able to get enough reach into the vault that it'll be fine. Okay, so Mysterio. Their actual deck is still a Mysterio to us. The X23 gives them extra range over here. The Carnage scales quite a bit. And then we do have the Squirrels as well. Let's go real Mysterio to the right, fake one over to the left, and they destroy the 1-drops with their Killmonger. I'm really interested in what the rest of the makeup of their deck is, because we know Venom's out there. They only have 2 cards in hand. Venom, I'm guessing Death, and maybe a Null. Maybe it's a really cheeky Null deck. Three cards in hand.
Cut off one head, 2 more shall take its place.
Okay, the Arnim Zola. think we're going to go with this. Because I don't know what they're running with the Arnhem Zola. But I'm imagining that they have maybe the Death Null finisher. So Death would probably go into the big house. We have Copycat that can sneak over there, destroy the Carnage. We have the 10 power here. Unless they do something really crazy that I'm not anticipating, I think we should be fine. Null, beautiful. We have the Rogue set up for it. So we're going to steal that one away. And then Death, read them exactly like a book. We're going to clear out the right lane. We win that one. We win left. We're going to Rogue steal mid. We are going to get the big, huge casserole. Casserole big enough to feed the entire family. We are going to take the 4 cubes here. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. What a diabolical Copycat. We know that they're not going to draw their Hawk anymore. And on top of that, we have it. Turn one snap for anybody. I kind of want to wait at least one turn so that maybe they're more likely to stay. If they heard the Copycat go off, maybe they're going to be a little bit more hesitant if we snap or stay. But otherwise, such a beautiful opening hand. Not only do we have the Rogue, so if they had their Hawk, we have that counter to it. Ooh. Good sir, Babachuga. We will take the snap back. We'll give you the Arisham point. We have the cable into a Viper. Interesting. Would not have expected the Viper, but we know they're not going to be able to send us that hood anymore. So perfect. Chef's kiss for sure. The Nico does get destroyed, so they draw into several of their cards. They drew a Copycat, so they steal something from us into Weird World. Into Weird World is unfortunate. We know that they have the chance to draw their Enchantress, Loki, but that would give us their card draw, which could be kind of good. I almost don't even want to drop Copycat here. At least we know that Rogue is off the table. What an interesting game. All right, Moon Knight hits our Stature, our Viper. Viper, unfortunately, nothing on their end. So our Stature doesn't get discounted. I don't know that I'm a big fan of this Stature, though. Just the stance looks uncomfortable. I don't know. It's a weird angle. All right, we're going to go ahead and lock in the Stature into the left. We have our Vision that can be that mobile source for us. The Proxima, so if we get a discard card like Moon Knight that they already dropped, Cassandra Nova does us no good. The Nocturne, so they could change Weird World. We could get one final draw from each of our respective decks. Let's go Vision into mid, so it's that flexible tool, and then we'll see. They do change Weird World, so we'll be able to draw from our own deck. They draw the Hawk, right? They draw the Hawk that is abilityless because of Copycat, so they did us a favor doing the Uno reverse. All right, so this is 6 power. We beat what's there now. This is 8. What cards of ours do they have that could potentially win? A Juggernaut could be protective. But we have the Vision to kind of watch out for that. I don't think they can win. Let's lock in the original line. See what they end up going with. They go with the Loki in the right, which does push them up, and then Copycat in mid. But Copycat in mid is not going to be enough because it slingshots our Copycat back to 27 power. And then they had the Rock from us copied from their Copycat. Oh my goodness. Super unfortunate. Otherwise, it would have been a tie. We would have won the tiebreaker, so this wasn't the determining factor. It's just kind of funny that they played the Loki, which slungshot our Copycat into existence. We'll take the 8. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Surfero. All right, next up we have Surfero. The first location is the Nord dimension, and so we'll get some gens if we play there. We do have the Loki for the additional card draw, the discount, plus being able to pull from the opponent's deck could be pretty good for us. They skip on turn number 1. We're going to skip on turn number 2 because Shadow King can be so much value late game. It is absurd how strong Shadow King is right now. Being able to offset so much, like over the course of the entire game, scaling with little old Shadow King. And so skipped on 2 as well. We can go ahead and play out our Loki. That's going to give us, we have room for both of the card draws. So that's fine. We don't know what kind of deck they're running, but I'm guessing it's a pretty high curve, so it might be nice. The Ultron could be good. Unfortunately, the unfortunate 50-50 flip allowed their Cassandra Nova to hit our cards after Loki replaced them. Otherwise, we would have offset what that did. Unfortunate. But we do have the Shadow King for it, so not the entire end of the world. We can go something like Coulson Jeff. Good old Jeffrey. They go with Squirrels. They're going to set up they're trying to set up a Sandman into Ultron line. I'm pretty sure of it. And so on this next turn, we may go, what, Shadow King. Do we go Vision? Vision into just Shadow King after the Sandman might be the play. Claw. Our rogue is going to be eating so good here. I love a good claw play. I almost want to snap into it because that's just so unfortunate for him. The Marvel Boy is putting in work, but... Ooh, they have an Eliath? Scary, scary Eliath. All right, let's go Vision over to the left. Let's go Rogue Steel. Let's go Shadow King. And then we're going to leave Vision. We're going to leave Jeff to the right, actually. We're going to do just this setup, and I think it's going to be enough for us to steal the win. A potential Eliath could swindle this one, so maybe we need to move Jeff into mid just in case they hit us with the Eliath. Then they would have to drop it here, so we didn't steal the Rogue. Here would be fine. We'd win here and here. This is going to be 5, 9, 11. So they go with the triple drop. The Copycat ends up having nothing. The Nocturne in the right, the Jin in the left. Not going to be enough, my friend. We have 2 cubes at stake right now, but we should be able to steal the 4-way, stealing away the Claw, which is becoming much more of a normal play to see, rather than that surprise 8-cube factor. We reset the right lane. They are going to tie us in the right because of Marvel Boy, but we win left, we win mid, we take the 4 cubes, and we will go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Helios once again. They are running an Arisham deck. Unfortunately, we're running into a little bit more Arisham these days. They get Makari from the Arisham draw. They get Shocker. Super unfortunate. I'm going to go ahead and snap into it because we do have the Loki line. We're not going to be able to play into Castle Blackstone this turn, but after this one, we can start competing for it. And having their base cards from an Arisham deck discounted is usually pretty good for us. They skip on turn number 2 into, we'll see what they do on 3. I'm sure that they don't skip this turn as well. The Moon Girl. Interesting. From the Arisham, so their hand is very full here. We do get the extra energy from Castle Blackstone. We could do Loki one more time. We could do Nocturne Loki. We get a little bit of extra card draw. Let's go ahead and double drop into mid, the Legion. Unfortunate. So we're not going to get extra energy. We are going to get another card draw, though, from the Return Fire Loki. We now get a Legion of our own. We can do Vision here into just so many random cards pulling in. And I think we're okay taking that gamble. If it hits, The Legion, that's fine. If it hits Arsham, Agent Coulson, Shang-Chi would be pretty solid. Doesn't look like it's going to pull into the right lane because of their Magneto, though. So as long as we don't lose both of our Shang-Chis here, then we're okay. So the Arsham comes in. The Legion, the second Legion from them comes back down. This one is the Arsham generated. This one was the Moon Girl generated one. Comes back down. And so we might still pull into a card in the right lane. We get Coulson. They get Red Guardian. And then the right lane ends up being Legion as well. And so that is going to reset the left and mid. We're not going to pull into another card, thankfully. But we did end up dodging all of our Shang-Chi drops. So we can now do like Nocturne, Mockingbird, or we go Vision mid, Nocturne mid, Mockingbird into the Shang-Chi right to clear up a lot of the space there. And then this is going to be a surprising amount of power that we're repositioning into mid. I think they are more likely to defend this one and then this one a little bit. But I think we swing them both back in our favor. And so the big drop in the left lane with the Thanos coming in, we're going to come way over the top of mid. We're going to be able to go way over the top of the right lane, and we will be able to grab the 4 cubes, and we will take it. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Sergeant Scrub. The Hell's Kitchen gives us the ability to play our Quinjet on 1. We have Cable as a follow-up. We have Loki. So our cards are going to be greatly reduced. We know that they at least have one cost built into their deck because they did get the draw from Hell's Kitchen. And so we know we're not looking at some we're not looking at some ridiculous curve. They gave me the middle finger and then snapped right back. We'll see. We'll see how it's happening. Whatever they have, they're happy with it. Happy with their car's extended warranty. All right, we're going to go Cable over to the right because Eternal's Arc could be pretty messy, pretty quick. We want to respect the fact that maybe we need to stack heavily in left and right before turn 5 ends. And so they go 1 card. We get Ravonna, which could be interesting. They go White Widow. Unfortunate. It could be a clog deck, a good old clutter them up deck. We get our Shang-Chi. We do have Rogue, so if they play an ongoing, maybe we can steal it. We have Enchantress. Let's go Loki for now. And I'm going to go Loki into the right lane. I think that's a Loki thing to do. Seeing the Ravonna and the White Widow, they could be going heavy in like the goblins, the dagger move stuff. And so we have to respect that they could have a pretty impactful line. The Ghost Spider tells me they are probably going along those lines, which is unfortunate. Plus, we had initiative, so their Cassandra still hits the cards that we replaced. Very unfortunate for sure. All right, I'm going to go Shadow King Ravonna. And then we'll adjust from there. That's going to set their Cassandra way down. And then maybe we go Sage. Maybe we can go Sage to bring it home in left or right. We have the Ghost Spider, so maybe it's Sage into a Ghost Spider pool. We have Ravonna, which is going to discount all of our low cards. Maybe we can even get a like cheeky dagger play going, depending on what we draw from the opponent. We have to look out for maybe some clutter on their end. The Green Goblin comes in. Unfortunate. The Iron Fist. And so I do think they're going to be looking to do the dagger here. Do we have initiative? No. So a dagger pushing here could be 12. 17. 2, 4, 6. We could go something cheeky like this, maybe. If they do the dagger like I think they're going to, we destroy it. If they play just a mid-range card, then we don't, and we look foolish. But I'm looking for dagger here. Dagger is the beautiful call-out. We have the 12 power dagger in the left. That is a sizable lead, my friend, but not sizable enough. The Shang-Chi coming in, reading your soul from everywhere that we could. the Green Goblin, I played it into the right, and if they had the lead somehow with the +5, we had Ghost Spider to kind of do an Uno reverse and pull it out of that lane. But because we are already winning pretty heavily here, we're just going to go like Enchantress Sage, and I think we call it good. And we do get the 4-cube retreat. We countered all of the big, heavy stuff that they wanted to do, and we will grab the 4, and we are going to go ahead and jump over into the next one. Mr. Dad. The first location is the vault. We have our Loki. We have Quinjet. I almost want to snap on it on turn 1, but I'm not going to. I'm going to wait at least 1 turn, maybe snap on turn 2, on turn 3. We now have the double rogue, and there has been a lot of ongoings that are creeping into the game that are just being unchecked. And so something like this, we can still Dazzler, we can still Blue Marvel, and just have a marvelous time doing it. Let's go ahead and play out our Loki. I'm going to snap into him. Hopefully we pull Vision or Nocturne here. If not, it's okay. Probably not the end of the world, but we're going to see if we can get the Loki, get the draw, get a Blue Marvel, steal a Blue Marvel from them. They have 2 Dazzlers, which is dazzling. They could be looking to go Sandman, potentially. And then Coal Obsidian comes down, and then we pull in our Rogue, unfortunately. Shadow King also from their end, which is kind of interesting. Let's go Dazzler into Nocturne. Next turn, we have the ability to go Vision, and so we could cap out wherever we wanted to. We can move it if we overcommit into the vault, or kind of adjust from there. We won't be able to draw into our Enchantress or the Juggernaut, but I'm thinking we see Sandman. Coal Obsidian seems interesting, but maybe we don't. We did draw Squirrel Girl, so we will be able to get some extra reach into the vault. So we can play our Vision, we can move Vision out, and then play Squirrel Girl later. And then there is the beautiful, beautiful Blue Marvel. We have Rogue that's going to steal that one away. And then we have the follow-up Blue Marvel, which is marvelous for us. Let's go ahead and play... I think we move the Vision. Play Shadow King, Squirrel Girl. And if we hadn't already snapped, this is such a big snap hand. Because 1, we're going to steal the Blue Marvel away. We have the second Blue Marvel. We're going to cap out all of our spaces. And so Dazzler is going to be full capped. Yes, they have 2 here that maybe they can reach, but I think we're going to be over the top of them with our double Blue Marvel. That power is just so understated and so surprising, honestly, for the opponent. All right, so they moved a Nightcrawler over, a double drop in the right. Should be fine, but we'll see, of course. The Rogue coming down, the Blue Marvel, huge play, huge power swing. Shadow King coming in, Squirrel Girl capping out the rest of the lanes. Such a huge Shadow King on their end, not going to do it. The Squirrels pushing into the left lane, not going to do it. We have they have the right lane because of the big Coal Obsidian, but the other 2, we have a very, very healthy lead in. Now, had they been able to cap out this one as well, we still would have won this one, but just by 1. We will take the 4 cubes. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Satano. That's not a tilde on the in. I don't know the sound of the O with accent, so Satano. The first location is Vormir. We're going to go ahead and skip. They take out our Enchantress. Unfortunate, but Enchantress has so much of value these days. And we have the backup line of Rogue because ongoings have been starting to creep back into the game where people are least expecting it. We do have Korg in the copycat. Right now, we don't have a good sacrificial lamb in Vormir, unfortunately, other than like maybe the pig, but even that's not perfect. They go Kate Bishop, so they're going to get some arrows. Spider-Ham plus Kate Bishop. I'm trying to figure out their like follow-up lines. I'm just not sure what they can do. Now, we have 2 counter tools. We don't have the Shang-Chi. I am going to sacrifice the Loki. Their Cassandra comes down. Thankfully, they had initiative because we immediately replace that garbage with brand new, shiny, full power cards. We have the Shadow King to offset the Cassandra. Anyways, we get a second copycat, which we can't doesn't copy anything because our first copycat already stole the bottom card. They they snapped on us, but I think we're fine. And the reason I think we're fine is the rogue line. Rogue is going to give us so much value here. Let's go Rock Slide Agent Coulson. We wouldn't be able to draw going into next turn, but we do get a discount on all the Quinjet cards. Instead of that, let's go Rock Slide, and I'm gonna rock them. We're gonna rock them real good with the copycat. Now the only concern becomes Mindscape, and so we'll want to drop like the Shadow King here before that happens. And so next turn might be like Shadow King Rogue, maybe? We'll see. So the basic arrow, the Nocturne, they can change Mindscape now. And so they have that mind game component of will they, won't they. But sending the rocks their way, we get Nocturne as well. So we can go Shadow King. Shadow King, Copycat, Nocturne. We have some flexible power. They don't change Mindscape. Oh no. Oh no. We should have rogued in the left, knowing that they were likely to, if they didn't change that lane, they were likely to drop their Hawk over there. Unfortunate as it may be. We give them a handful of resources, but are they good enough? I have to remember what we gave them. We gave them Rogue. That's fine. We gave them Rogue, Agent Coulson. And then one other card, right? Man, I wish I knew what it was. Unfortunate. We can do Proxima. We can do Black Bolt. We can do Nocturne. So Coulson, Rogue aren't great in mid. I think we're okay doing this. Taking away the Cassandra Nova, I think, was big. Unless they happen to top deck Mystique, which I don't think their deck runs. Let's go ahead and lock in this line. The Nocturne, the Nocturne move over into the right lane, into the Raft. Let's see what cards they ended up dropping there. Mojo World is an interesting one. They have Copycat, they have Agent Coulson. It comes to a tie in the right lane with the Proxima, with the Black Bolt. We win mid by 100, and the left we lose. So the Nocturne changing middle into Mojo World was the game-defining moment there. Had we just forwent mid and pushed Nocturne over, we could have won the point differential, but we didn't. So we got very, very lucky in the Nocturne RNG. Every once in a while, that is what it's going to take to win. We will grab the 4. We don't deserve them,